6, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, I can't do that shit. And I don't never vote, cause I'm fucking broke. And either way, I know the police ain't gon' leave me alone. On a plane, about to visit Glen Rock. Need crypto, told me I should bring the Glock with me. So I packed up my piece and I'm sliding. Cause we might get caught up in a riot. Middle finger Trump, middle finger Biden. Fuck a left, fuck a right, is you riding? Know you love to see it, dudes rocking. Ain't no politics, baby, we just talking. From the birds to the bricks, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. Who you with?
I just got done paying this bill, and I hate mail nowadays. Like I'm not anti-postal service, but now I'm like, there's just no reason to send me mail if I owe you money.
Yeah. It's actually, it's more likely it's going to get like lost in the shuffle or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And there's no reason to do it. They send it to you. I've clicked paperless on many companies, and they still are just like, you sure? And I'm like, I thought this saves you money. I thought this was like a thing on your end that was good, that you wanted people to go. They're like, I don't think he really meant that. I think he had a couple beers when he clicked paperless. And so they send it to me. But the craziest part is I finally switched some of these bill pay things for like my utilities online. There's a paperless fee. How is there a paperless fee? It's like, it was ridiculous. Like $3.99. I was like, what's the fee? There's no tangible. There's no tangible item that you're sending me.
Nah, that doesn't make any sense. No, yeah, I'm with you on that, man. And it gets confused too, man. I just got like a medical bill where like I go to this place, I go to the urologist. This is like mid-40s stuff. I go to the urologist now, and they said they're crazy about texts. They send me constant texts about this and that, and I get 5 texts per appointment.
Oh, yeah.
And they keep sending me a link that I have a bill to pay. No. They keep mailing me a thing that I have a bill to pay and texting me. But when I click the text, I owe them $0. So I don't even know if I owe them. I can't even figure out if I owe them money or not at this point. So yeah, it's.
They add like 6 different elements to it, and we have a Sam's Club out here, and that switched to only app based after a while, and so like you show up and you have your little thing and they scan it, as opposed to maybe a card that you had in the past to get in there. And what was funny was the day that I signed up, I was just signing up for an overall membership, and it was an insane like Kafka type situation because I had just moved to my new residence and everything, and I was like signing up for Sam's Club because they have the cheaper gas, and I was like, okay, here's my email. And they're like, oh, it shows that you already have an account. And I go, 0 chance that I have an account here. 0 chance that I already have one. She's like, that's what it's saying. Is there any other one? I use the podcast email that we have, the one I literally just emailed you from you.
Right.
She's like, that one has one too. Do you think I have 2? I have 2 Sam's Club accounts. You think I pay $100 a year for you? And I get it. It's not up to her to fix this. This could be a glitch, but it's like in your head, there's no gears turning in your head, lady. Like a little bit, like that's weird. And she's just like, no, I'm standard. Everyone has multiple Sam's burners, and they're alts. And but then all of a sudden, I'm looking behind me. And it's the day that they had switched over to the new service. Finally, we get it situated. I look behind me, 75 and up. Everybody behind me with phones in their hand, like, what the is that?
Right.
And the lady was like, oh yeah, it's been kind of tough rollout. I go, yeah. I was like, I'm probably the easiest customer you have right now.
Exactly.
You're gonna have to explain how to turn the phone on to these people.
Dude, I gotta have a little sympathy for like the older, like if you're like so 70, just trying to survive in this, like, apps and like, my parents still every once in a while, my parents still say something that reveals they don't understand how any of this stuff works. It was like a year ago. My dad thought he sent me a picture. I was at his house and he sent me a picture on his phone via email or whatever. And he thought it would be faster because we were in the same room together. I was like, that's not like, it's basically like, that's not how it works at all, man.
I love that. I think that's awesome. Yeah. You get like a notification, you look over, you're like, what? Yeah. He's like, yeah, check it out. Yeah. What are you wasting so much time for? I thought this would take fast. I thought this would be faster.
Yeah.
No,
it's gotta be it's tough out there. It's tough for me. I'm gradually understanding how to navigate, less and less and less every day. And also not caring as much either. Just sort of like some stuff is that'll just miss me, I guess. I'm just not doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I felt that way about this new car thing that's happening. The cars are now like any like newer car will have the ability to just like shut itself down, or all of these like new things. And I just in my head, I was just thinking like there's going to be an entire generation who thinks that cars have always been that way, which is kind of crazy, dude. Right? Like that's and whatever. I guess if that's all you know, that's all you know. But they're, that's rolling out, as we, Gen X millennials are getting a little bit older. What 20 years from now, like when we are truly just like geezers, I don't even know. I'm not even sure. It might not even be bad things either. Like it might just be like things where we're just like, nope, not doing it.
Nope, not doing it. Yeah. No, I feel that way all the time. I every time I have to like learn a little bit of a new piece of software for something, you're doing this podcasting thing. I'm like every few months, I feel like I'm like, oh, I'll use this instead. Every time I start to use a new piece of software, I'm like, man, I hope this is the last piece of software I have to learn how to use. I don't. I'm running out of fucking disk space, man. I don't know. And work is always like day job is always throwing some new thing at me. Like, we'll do it in this. Like, I don't want to learn how to use that, man. And I'm definitely feeling like the geezer in that regard. It's just like back in my day, you just emailed stuff to each other.
The best thing at work is when you get like the lady from corporate that comes in and she's just like, hey, everybody, there's bagels in the break room. I just want to roll out this really exciting thing that we're bringing out, and it's called Force Work. And and all it's going to do, it's facial recognition, and it's all it's going to do is tell you what time you work tomorrow. And everybody's just like, and then you're like, nobody ask any questions right now. We don't need the questions answered. Just ask privately. Everyone has a question. You're like, this is the worst meeting in the history of it happened yesterday, I think, actually.
That's right. I've been there, man. The company I worked for, when I started, there were, I don't know, I think there were 10 of us maybe, and now there's like 50 or 60. So it's like grown a lot. And so now you're like watching a tiny company become like a, I don't know, medium-sized company or whatever. Yeah. And it's, man, I've been there for, I don't know, 8 years or something. And I totally have this like, well, back in our day, we just didn't care about that. We just didn't do that. Like we go into the field a lot. And so there's equipment stuff. And it used to just be like, everybody just do what you can, bring it back clean, put it where it's supposed to go, make sure you're not stealing anything, or make sure if you've got something, you have it so we can find it if we need it. And now it's all like spreadsheets and checking in and
5S it, iPad. Make sure at the end of the day you will not be able to clock out until
like I remember I borrowed a truck from work, totally fine, totally thumbs up. I borrowed a truck from work to move. Like I moved from one apartment to another. It's fine, no big deal. Texted my boss, he was like, cool. And now it's like if I did that, they would fire me.
If you listen to like our parents' generation, they're like, we had like all of our kids' first communions at work, like on Saturday with alcohol.
Right.
Like you could drink and do, and then everybody drove company vehicles home. You're just like, you're like, it was great. We loved it. We all worked there for 30 years, retired and everything.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Now they're just like, if you even, log into this portal, if you're going to do this job, if you're going to clean out your truck, you're going to have to like get out and log into this portal over here. Right. And I'm just like, man, remember when portals used to be cool? Like when you're a kid, like portals sounded really fun when I was a kid. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
You guys come out and start fighting people and stuff. They're like, no, it's actually the most mundane aspect of your life. It's just logging in and out and using strong password that your desktop computer doesn't understand. So you're like, I picked the strong password. Yep, it's strong. My computer doesn't know it.
Right. Yeah. It's strong. So it's so strong. I can't hack it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh,
it somehow it changes once a week behind the scenes and nobody lets me know. And I try to log in and now I got to, go through the Rolodex and try and come up with various combinations for what it could possibly be. This, it's the modern, sort of the whole like computer takeover of like my job. I mean, I'm an engineer. We build stuff in the field.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff we do where it's like, I don't think computers need to be involved in this, man. Like, can't we just build this thing? Instead, it's seven rings of paperwork to accomplish one little thing. Yeah.
And also you'll see these things like I know it's become kind of this guy that complains about data centers being built. And I'm like, I don't like the data centers. I hate to say it.
No.
Like, I mean, you can't catch me. I don't see the need for it. I'm sorry. Like, I think we're fine. I think we're fine with that. And unless it's your stock portfolio, which that's like the only thing I can see if you have like good stock and these things. But like as far as just net benefit to like what's happening, you'll hear about these towns where small towns, these things get shoehorned in. I see it all the time in Nevada. There's just these like little like Wild West like Yosemite Sam towns that all of a sudden just have like a big data center, and you'll see the people complain about it. It's not Democrats that live there. They're like gun guys and like Orange County choppers looking guys and stuff. They're complaining about it. And I laugh that there's this kind of, it's kind of like what we talked about last time with AI. It's like the guy that complains about AI, nobody wants to be that guy. So then it's just fine. And I think that's like the ultimate, how everything gets rolled out now. It's like bad things get rolled out, but it's like, oh, the guy complaining sucks.
Right.
Do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
we're gonna have to
hate these things. I hate these.
We're gonna have to tolerate. Yeah, we're gonna have to tolerate some annoying people, I think, in order to like.
Unfortunately,
dude, I just listened to Tucker Carlson had Kevin O'Leary on to talk about. Apparently, Kevin O'Leary's the Shark Tank guy.
Of course.
And apparently, he's investing in. I don't know if it's the biggest data center project ever, but it's pretty big. He's developing it on, I think, 40,000 acres in Utah, which, to put it in perspective, is like multiple times the island of Manhattan. And so Kevin O'Leary and his investors or whatever are putting up $15 billion to build this data center. And Tucker Carlson is asking his, everybody's heard enough of him to know how he asks questions. It's a kind of an annoying manner, but they're often pretty good questions. And Kevin O'Leary just has nothing. It's just, well, we got to beat China. What, you don't want to beat China? It's just like, no, I'm just asking what happens when everybody's power bill triples. What do we do then? But China would win. Like,
what if your power bill's in Chinese the next time you get it?
right.
Wouldn't that be annoying? You're dead to me, Tucker.
Yeah.
We're going to get you right back to the episode, but I just wanted to let you guys know of a few other things we offer at Rare Candy Industries. We have a Substack with free and paid subscription options. Free subscribers get access to all written content. That includes Bob's Red Pill. That's the best thing going on the internet right now. Trust me. Paid subscribers get full access to our premium episode feed. And that's just every episode we don't necessarily want to share with the general public, if you know what I'm saying. Again, that's rarecandy.substack.com. We also have merch. That link's a little long for me to say right now, but go to the description, go to our merch store, and find a shirt that's right for you. We have Rare Candy shirts, Dr. Bronner soap label shirts, Rishi mushroom shirts, all types of stuff there. Check it out. There's got to be something for you. And lastly, check us out on social media. On Instagram, we're Rare Candy Pod, but on Twitter, we're at Rare Candy Pod 1. All right, enough of that. Let's get you back into the episode.
Yeah.
I just don't buy that China's gonna win thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm so totally out of the loop. What are they gonna win? Have it.
They have a huge country. I mean, I understand that, they probably have some, like the mayor of, there was a California mayor that got exposed as being a Chinese. It's kind of crazy. And it's like, it's kind of getting like not swept under the rug, but like people are just like, oh, and then move on to something else. I'm like, no, that's interesting. Like that's kind of interesting.
I did some Googling. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the whole story or anything, but on what you're talking about, like I did have to like Google, like I had to like do some internet searching to read about that. Normally this stuff is just like in my feed and I just scroll like a moron, but like I was like, why is this not a bigger deal? You're talking like we had a spy as a mayor of a small city. Like what?
Just doing espionage.
Yeah.
I didn't like. I'm just trying to figure out, like, because I don't even know. They were being coy about what city it was, and I know California very well. I'm like, what city is this?
Oh, I
And
wish I could remember. Yeah.
Is Spy Mayor, California City. I never.
It was a city I'd heard of before, and as not a Californian.
I mean, they're not going to put her in, like, There Will Be Blood, California. Like they're not.
It's right.
Oh, Arcadia. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's. I mean, reasonable size city.
Yeah, it's not
city.
LA or anything, but it's I think I saw the population is like 50,000. That's not nothing.
Yeah, they're like, not yet. First we have Arcadia, and we will slowly inch our way into. Yeah,
it's so wild, dude.
Yeah, it's so great with all the data. I know, and I'm through the data centers, and I'm sure there's some guy that gets like really into why they're good, actually, that I don't wish to hear from right now.
Yeah.
But there's the data centers just feel like this mass consolidation for like somebody that, if they were to attack you, is like found the spot.
Right.
And then all of a sudden a small town that would probably never get attacked is like would be under attack or something. It just feels really odd. Like
someplace
centralizing everything.
Yeah, someplace in Nebraska is just gonna get walloped. I know here where I'm at, Michigan, there's a lot of pushback on it. I know they're developing some, but I know that there's like a lot of pushback. People don't want it in their backyards, which I don't think they should. What kind of cracks me up is like, with as rapidly as this stuff is developing, the technology, and we're not going to stop it. It's just going to happen.
That's the problem.
I sort of accepted that, but like, how do we know in like 3 years they're not going to like come up with some tech that they don't even need these data centers anymore?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll get the same functionality, except we'll have just thousands of these enormous facilities that are useless.
I hope that to be fair, I hope that's the what ends up happening, because
that would be good.
I don't want that did happen in the Bay Area around COVID. Was right before COVID, everything was getting built. They're like these massive buildings, and then nobody was going to work anymore. And so there was just these huge buildings just sitting there vacant, like just vacant. Like, and I'm talking like the size of colleges, and that were just huge and just sitting there. And they're like, that was going to be the Rakuten, building, or the LinkedIn building or something. And everyone's like, we work remotely and we have portals. So that's all we do now. Yeah, there's just portals now. It's not as interesting as you think, but there's portals. And
that's what a lot of the like back to the office movement was about. Was like the sort of real estate values were plummeting. Commercial real estate was falling through the floor, and I think it was like, we let it go too far. We let everybody leave the office. And now we got all these empty skies, empty office buildings, empty office parks, etc. And I think that's, and the boomers hate that too. They can't stand.
I think I am a boomer. I can't stand it. I'm like, this is an empty building.
Yeah.
What's the plans with this?
What's the people in it?
What's the plan for the empty building? I would be at every meeting, and I'd be like, hey, I showed up late. Did you guys talk about the plan for the empty building? No? Is there a plan? Okay, I'll see myself out. Grab some donuts.
Right.
No, I can't stand it. I'm not even one of those like city planning people that's like, we can make this block into 50 million houses if you build it this way on Sim City or something. And but I'm like, I definitely don't have it in my plans to have a big vacant building that says for lease that has like cool like red and like tan colors to it, and a big parking lot with Tesla chargers. Like I know that was meant for somebody, but let's knock it down.
Right. Yeah, it's turned into a nice, park.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I got a taste of work from home, and I don't work 100% from home, but I got a taste of it, and it's like, you're gonna pry that out of my cold dead hand. Yeah. I'm just never going back to the office every day. This won't happen.
You can't take it back. It's like when they allow you to use phones at work. Like, it's like, if you allow personal phone use, like, people are gonna just use it. You can't you can't not have it anymore. And the company I work at is all young Zoomer people, and like, if you say like no phone use, like, you just don't have employees.
Right. Yeah. That's how I'll come in occasionally, and I was out in the fields I guess not today. Yesterday, I was out in a sewer at 11 p.m. last night, right? So I'm not like I don't need to be in my office at home with my my tea or whatever all the time, but I'm just not doing the step into the office at 8 a.m. and grind away touching a computer and then leave at 5 p.m. I'll just find another job that doesn't make me do that if I find myself in that situation.
Well, it's odd because at the company I'm at now, I finally saw Slack for the first time.
Oh boy, yeah.
I thought it was Twitter.
No.
It looks like Twitter.
It kind of is like Twitter.
Yeah, but it's Twitter for people you're forced to talk to. Which,
yes,
I guess so is Twitter sometimes. Yeah, but now that I think about it, yeah, maybe Twitter turned into Slack. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah. But no, it is like Twitter. It is like Twitter for work. I knew somebody who worked at Apple. And there's like a Apple Slack, but like there's so many people who work at Apple that there's like whole communities like inside of it, right? And so it's like it's a whole social. It's like multiple Twitters running simultaneously, but it's all Apple employees. So it's just like some little bubble of like, and Apple is one of these companies that have like all these like almost after school clubs. There's like the Apple hiking club and the all of the political activism stuff you would imagine is in there too. And it's just like, oh my God, you're forced to log into this thing.
That's the portal right there. And because like there's a one girl I work with, she's got this like super glamour shot as her picture. And we work in a warehouse. And it was like everyone sees you all the time.
Right.
So like you're messaging someone, it's like you're going to talk to them in 3 minutes. It's like the picture will deceive nobody. It's it's not even required at this job, but it's like this super like Instagram selfie, like just completely, just made up and everything. And it's like everyone knows what you. It's just really fun. It's really funny when you do work in person and have Slack. Like that's the weirdest part. I'm like, why are we slacking? We have walkie talkies. And we do. They're like, hey, make sure you have your walkie-talkie and then lock into Slack. I'm like, and then lock into and then like, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I say something on the walkie-talkie and they're like, Glenn, could you do me a favor? So we have a paper trail. Just put that in. I'm like, I already fixed it. Okay. No. Great. And we love that about you. We love that you did that.
Right. But if you just put it in Slack. Yeah.
My job is no longer important if you don't put it in Slack.
Right. Yeah. There's that for sure.
I am the Slack monitor. That's what I negotiated my pay for.
Dude, having walkie-talkies and Slack at the same time is hilarious.
It's insane.
It's like, what year is this?
You feel like you're like in this like old like what it feels like is those old things where like kings would walk around and there'd be a scribe next to you,
right?
And so you'd be on your thing, like doing your thing, and then there's this person like hunched over like a rolling cart with a laptop on it. Like they never make these things at the size they need them to be. I'm like, the tiny 3-foot cart, and this person's hunched over and just typing into Slack the thing you just said. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I'm just like, why do we have this? I get why other companies have it. Why do we have it? Like, such a cost-cutting thing we could implement here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, somebody probably, I don't know how Slack works if it's paid, but I know there's like a lot of stuff that, as a company, for bigger companies, vendors come in and they sell somebody in the company on some piece of software, and then the rollout's kind of weird because only like 10% of the company even knows that it's happening. So it's the whole like business to business stuff is weird too. Through my wife, I sort of run into a lot of this stuff where she's talking to vendors and they're trying to pull stuff off, and they'll try to sell something to one person and it won't work, so they'll go to somebody else in the company and try to sell it at will, and they got multiple things doing the same functionality. It's like it's kind of a mess, man.
Isn't that funny though, how like, and being from California, and I always think books like Blood Meridian and just any show or anything just remind you that like there's certain jobs that have like always existed. There's like just a layer you have to peel back to see the kind of like primitive nature of like where you actually live a lot of times. And the when you see people like the guys in like those Deadwood shows that are just like selling bullshit out of like a thing, but it's just an odd apothecary guy, like, and you're just like, is this a guy peddling like weird communication things? and slotting techniques to your work. Like that's the same thing. That's the same thing now.
Oh,
The guy has a respectable job. He's allowed to like tell people that's what he does and not get ran out of a town.
Oh yeah, no, America is so much there's so much flim flammer. Like I know like now it seems like the most overt versions of it have been like relegated to like dudes with Indian accents that call you.
Yeah.
But like that flim flammery is like so deep in American history and American culture. That's like kind of what the whole thing is built on, honestly.
Yeah.
It's kind of I think this is maybe other people don't think this is funny. I think this is funny. I was doing I did this episode on John Williams, the guy who wrote Stoner.
Butcher's Crossing, right?
Butcher's Crossing. So I did this episode on Butcher's Crossing, and I do these, paywalled things, which are kind of deep dives, more prepared stuff. And anyway, John Williams grew up in the oil boom in Texas, and in the town he lived in during the oil boom, this developer came along and said, I'm going to build the biggest building in Texas, right? He got all these investors, and he ends up, I don't know how many millions of dollars he gets in an investment, but he was showing everybody blueprints, right? And then he finally builds the building. He gets some millions of dollars in investment. He builds the building, and it's only 4 stories tall.
Wow.
And everybody's like, what the hell are you doing? And it turns out they took him to court and everything. It turns out that on the blueprints that he got his investors to sign off on, he'd drawn everything in inches. And just like they'd assumed it was in feet. And so they're in Wichita Falls, Texas to this day. There's this like odd shaped building that is basically the scam that this guy ran on all of the richest people in Wichita Falls, Texas. I only bring that up because like America's like built on bullshit like that.
100%.
That's just an egregious example. We just do that all the time to sell shit that barely works or doesn't really do what it says it's going to do, or like, or doesn't do anything at all,
The craziest thing was back at my old job, I'd work with this one guy, and he definitely looked like a guy who does these things. It wasn't that big of a shock. I just didn't think my suspicion would be true within a minute of meeting him. And he basically, the guy was like, hey, I'm gonna go run to the gas station before work starts. So I'm gonna call you in a sec, like and just see where you guys are at. So he calls me, and it says scam likely when he calls me. And I'm like, okay. And I don't answer because it's likely a scam.
Likely.
Yeah. It's actually his name is Scam Likely. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. That's a good pension name right there.
Yeah. My buddy Scam Likely. He's in a jazz band. He's in a jazz band, and he also works at a chocolate factory.
Right.
But anyways, like he calls me, and he finally pulls up and like finds. He goes, "What's up, dude? I've been calling you." I'm like, "I didn't get a call from you." Yeah. He goes, "Yeah, it's my number." I'm like, "That showed up as a scam." He goes, "Oh, that's like a weird thing with my phone." I was like, "Oh," and
that's a weird.
And he kept stepping away during the day. He's like, "I gotta make a quick phone call," and he would make a phone call. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Are you scamming people right now?"
Yeah, what is he doing?
I guess I've never seen that side of it. Like it was just kind of like how it's made. I was like, "Wow, this is really not as
I've definitely never run into it. Like I've never who is actually making those calls, right? Because it is, I know they're like robocalling, but like if you answer one of those calls, usually it's like a 4-second wait, and then they click over to you, and then it's it's some Indian dude, and he says his name is John or whatever.
Yep.
And he's trying to sell you who God knows what. But like, what are those guys doing? And I suppose there are people who are like legit like fishing for credit card numbers and stuff, right? So
my cousin's grandma, not on my side of the family, this would never happen on my side of the family, but his grandma that I am not related to called him one time, and we were together like at our other cousin's wedding, and we were having a good time and everything. It's in Santa Barbara, vibes are just immaculate, and he gets a call, and he thinks like something's really wrong, and it turns out she's like, Jerry, are you okay? And he's like,
oh, no,
doing great. She's like, oh, okay, because you must have gotten out of the hospital then. And I was like, I could hear just not speakerphone, but just the person's voice kind of on the phone, and he's just like staring, like he's like, what happened? And she's like, they said you were in a alcohol induced car crash in Mexico. He's like, who said that? And so she basically, long story short, she went and emptied her whole safety deposit box out to somebody who just called and said her grandson was in an accident in Mexico, and it was basically they know this really well because, like, I mean, I know this to probably be true, but like boomers, all they hear about is like corrupt Mexican cops. Like you can just like pay them off. So she's like, I'll pay them off. That's totally fine. And I know what definitely happened was because in my head, I was like, how did they know your name? I was asking them that. And I bet what happened was she goes, was it Jerry?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they're like, yep.
Yep. It was Jerry.
It was Jerry. He's, you know, Jerry. Yeah.
You know, Jerry
picks their most fucked up like grandson.
And like, how every grandparent knows what their most fucked up grandkid is, right? Yeah.
I totally know this one. Yeah, that would do this in Mexico. And she like emptied out all her money. And I remember telling our shared grandmother was at this wedding, and we start telling her the story. And you know, she has this like look of sympathy. She's like, they have all types of programs about this that they show on Dateline in 60 Minutes. And she's saying these things. Like, she's like, she needed to pay attention to these things. Like, this is like basically like do better. Like old lady, you're an idiot. Like it was so funny. Like we were both feeling pretty bad. And she was just like, I'm her age. Like you do something like that. Like you might as well just throw the money out the window.
She got bad.
It was bad. I mean, I'm just trying to think, like, did they even put on a Mexican accent? Did they even put on like how well did they sell this?
Yeah, what's the production value here?
I bet you don't have to do anything. If you get the right grandma to just freak out, they don't care who they're talking to.
You know, I think it'd be dishonest for like I wouldn't fall for what she fell for, but I bet there is some level of well-constructed scam that I would fall for. Like I don't even know what it would be, but I bet there's a scam that any one of us could fall for on some level, right? If you came at me with a perfectly put together thing and like I was getting multiple pieces of information, I don't know. I think, it could definitely happen.
I've almost fallen for like not like a scam, but it's like more like it was like they were drug related. So it was just kind of like, hey, this guy has this, let's go over there. And just kind of things like that where I think I was already needing that to be true kind of already. So
once or twice I may have given somebody money before I should have.
Right, exactly. Just things like that. You know, in terms of like big full-fledged like schemes, I don't think I don't know. I'm very mistrusting. I'm not a very trusting person. So
yeah, me neither. I don't have any grandparents left, but I feel like I would just tell them like, if anybody calls you for something for me, I don't need it. Yeah. Like if I'm in a car wreck, I'll be out. We'll figure it out. We don't need you. We don't need to involve you, Grandma. There's a lot of other people.
Well, what my other grandmother said was, she said, because she lived in these things called like Del Webb, Sun City communities where you get your own house. It's your own house. Yeah. But it's just a community of old ass people that all live there. There's a golf course there and everything. It's very nice. Yeah. And she said they would just mail out like laminated placards of like what to do, like questions to ask if you think you're being scammed.
Smart.
And I actually really like it. And then one of them is like, say who it is. I guess the grandson thing is like in that community is like, you know, the biggest oil building in Texas, or, you know, the oil, you know, it's like that kind of thing where it's like hotcakes. The people try it all the time. And so it tells you like, ask them to say the name of the grandson, like ask them to say what hospital that they're at, like, you know, go to a computer and look up the hospital that they're at. Like, it's like, and, you know, maybe they might get all that correct, but most of the time they don't. They just hang up.
Right.
They just try somebody dumber, try to find somebody dumber than you. Like,
sure. Yeah.
Numbers game.
That makes sense. It's gonna get shoot, man. It's gonna get. I mean, I'm not a doomer on this front, but that's just gonna get harder and harder. Like, the scams will be better and better, and it's unpleasant.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like my parents are like grandparent. I mean, they are grandparents. It's like, you know, I haven't really seen them fall for anything, and I don't think that they would necessarily, but like, I can imagine some cleverly assembled scam them falling for sure. Yeah. You know,
I might tip my cap from time to time and be like, oh, that's a good one. You know, just like I wouldn't fall for that, but if
you pull off some like Ocean's 11 shit, I mean,
it's just man. Like, what am I like Frank Abagnale or whatever that guy's in Catch Me If You Can, like just stuff like that. Like those are fun. Those are like fun to see. A guy just jumps out of a room with a bunch of stewardesses, and you're like, okay, that's fun. But I was thinking about this too, because you said your next book is gonna have a detective theme to it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it does. Yep.
Is that why we like the detective? Is because we're constantly being scammed?
That's probably
I
part
almost
of
wonder
it.
is like, are the especially the male urge of just
Yeah.
wanting the detective thing, right? I read 2666, like Roberto Bolaño, one of the smartest authors in the history of the world, in my opinion, is just like love detective. He just loves like detective stuff. That's like what he wanted to do. That's what he was super into. Everybody loves it. Like, it doesn't matter if you like, if you're a big sports macho guy, you still love like crime shows. If you're into like kind of just artsy fartsy novels and stuff like that, you love crime. Like it's all there. Like I think there is a good guy versus bad guy thing, but also just like uncovering someone scamming you is just like, or somebody you love, or somebody who's paying you, or whatever. Is it's just like that. I feel like in this country, it's uniquely that. You know?
Yeah, well, there's something in America about the we're all sort of clambering over each other because it is and this is not a saying it should be any other way, because it is the way it is, and I'm good with it. But there is like this hyper competitive quality to living in America to a certain extent, and so I do think there is something about like, you know, people getting one over on you and you getting one over on them.
Sure.
Like that sort of chess game is kind of fascinating, right? I think that's definitely part of it. And then there's, you know, I think there's probably other reasons too why the crime stuff is attractive. But there's definitely like this. Well, you know, on the one hand, it's like, if you think about, you know, we rank intelligence pretty highly and for good reason, but you know, we could do like an IQ measurement and the smartest guy is going to be like a theoretical physicist or something, right? But like really who's the smartest guy is the person who cannot be scammed, the person who's like always one step ahead, right?
Yeah.
That's who's actually like in the moment the smartest person. And we love that. We love that character because we all want to be that.
It's so true. And it's best when they are super flawed too, right? Like, because you on one hand you'll have the Mickey, these are awesome, all of these guys, but like Mickey Spillane, like Mike Hammer character, who's just like, I'm just a superhero basically. Like, you're not, like, there might be a time where I'm tied to a chair once, and then that's like, that's what I'm gonna face more than anything. And it might, his crimes might be like too much sex, that's the wrong girl, stuff. But then you all have Marlowe. Hey, you have Marlowe. It was just a little weathered man, cool though. Elliot Gould, you know, like you've seen Elliot Gould, the cigarette cat, and the kind of like dingy apartment that still looks kind of nice. Like every aspect of it looks kind of nice. But even when he, you know, you have Columbo, right? Like you have Columbo, who's also kind of a similar thing. It's just like, oh, the dumbest guy in the room for a while, but I'll just use the kind of Socratic method in a way to kind of just get my way out of this. And it's kind of a similar thing of like the Seinfeld thing of the I should have said that when you're driving away like a million times, like, oh, like I should have said this in this conversation. The thing pops into your head, and it's watching someone in real time, like doing something and cracking the case. And there's a little bit of drama involved, and there's tropes that are still good to this day. But like, it's really just somebody saying like, that's bullshit.
Yes. I
love it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we think that I think a lot about I hope this makes sense. You're breaking up there for a second, so I hope I'm coming through okay. I think a lot about the difference between a smart dumb guy and a dumb smart guy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like a guy who's sort of like station in society, the kind of way that they talk, the way they look is sort of like associated with dumb, but they're actually smart, versus like the guy who has all of the aesthetics of being a smart guy, but who's actually kind of dumb. The smart, the guy who kind of comes off dumb, like Columbo or whatever, but is actually super smart, is like a real American figure. It's like, you know what I mean? Like talking about detectives, The Wire, McNulty, right? McNulty's kind of a piece of shit. He's an alcoholic and he's a womanizer. You know, depending on your relationship to him, you might think he's a piece of shit, but he's also super smart. Like he's one step ahead all the time. He's always able to sort of figure out the situation. We love that person. That's like who all dudes want to be, right? Like you want to be, you know, not a, you don't want to be dumb, but you want to be like, I don't know. I would rather be the guy that kind of appears sort of dumb, but is actually smart than the theoretical physicist who like can't figure out how to hang a picture. Like
many such cases. No, I mean, you see it all the time. And a lot of times that guy rests on, like, will always tell you about his college degree, right? Is the guy versus the guy you go, damn, that guy has a master's. Like, you're like, it's the guy I was just drinking beers with. Like, he has a master's, and it actually becomes an impressive thing because you have already bought into the guy a little bit, and then you find out it's like, damn, he's got the credentials. But then the guy who leads with the credentials, you're like,
it's because you got nothing else, man. Yeah.
And you need to tell me. You feel the need to tell me because it's not otherwise obvious.
Like, right. Yeah. I wouldn't come to that conclusion on my own. Yeah.
Well, because I've met, like, I'm not in academia or anything, but I've like met some, this is not going to shock anybody, but some really stupid, like, career academic people, like, where I'm like, man, you are just like not smart. Like, there's just no like curiosity to them at all. Like, there's just no, like, you don't ever like explore this, like, and they're like, no, it's just kind of this and that. I'm like, damn, well, what is, obviously the point is to get a job and make money. I get that, but what's the, like, you don't have any utility to those things, that you didn't mine anything from like those years of studying stuff. I don't know. I find it fascinating.
I mean, I was, in my sort of brief stint in academia, I was always surprised by how narrow people's interests were. Just like, they just didn't seem to be like into a bunch of stuff, like, you'd get in there and like, we're gonna go out to the bar and have some beers, and like all we talk about is the same stuff we talk about in class, which I'm interested in. That's why I'm here. But I got a bunch of other crap I'm interested in too. Like I was constantly surprised by how, and they might be brilliant in this like narrow capacity, way beyond me, but like I was just always frequently surprised by how the lack of range, but in a lot of people, which just sort of hadn't had a lot of experiences, it didn't seem like, and didn't have much just like in-baked curiosity or like thoughts of their own sometimes.
I know, and you wonder, you're good, because I like to I'm like a really direct person. I'll go, what do you like to do outside of here? Like, I'll just ask them, and that never used to be a question that would catch people off guard, but I catch people off guard and they go, like, what's the first thing? Like, don't worry about what you think I'm going to be impressed by. What do you do? And I'm curious, like, we've talked for a little bit, like, you seem all right, like, or whatever. What do you like to do? And one guy was just like, finally, I got him to say he liked to paint those little like figurine, like real nerdy stuff. And I was just like, I'm glad that you have that hobby. I don't do it, but like, he was so scared of that. But I was like, no, you sounded way nerdier when you were scared to tell me what you do.
Right. It's tricky though, because in like hyper masculine environments, you do have to kind of protect yourself a little bit.
Sure.
And I prefer those environments, honestly, but like, you do have to be a little cagey about revealing too much of yourself, especially if you're like me. I sit at home and I write novels, right? It's like, if I'm out on a construction site, 1 out of 10 people thinks that's cool. So most of the time I just kind of keep that to myself,
and I get that, because like, it also there's the I want to read it guy, and you're like, I don't think I don't know if I want you to read, like, I don't know, you and me, like, I'm not sure we want that, like, so there's that. But it's just like, to me, I'm always like, what do you do on the week? I never say I do this, because I don't want you to listen. You might talk about you. Literally, it has just happened. But like, I don't know. You're not allowed to listen. But the otherwise, I'm just like, I like to garden. I like to, work out a little bit, and I like to read. And they always go, "What do you like to read?" I'm like, novels. And they go, "Oh," and they're like books. And I was like, yeah, like books. And they're like, what kind? I'm like, anything that's interesting. And then that one is crazy too, because like, I'm in a more blue collar environment and stuff, but like, there are people that are just like, that's like telling somebody that you like to do like underwater basket weaving to somebody. Like, they're just like, just reading, like just sitting there and reading. Like, like everybody did it for years. Like it was a very common hobby amongst a lot of classes, and stuff. But now that is it's
kind of a weird thing to do. But yeah, I know, like in my my dad doesn't read, never really read. He's probably read 4 books in his whole life or something like that. My mom read a little bit, but she read in that sort of like Danielle Steele, Colleen Hoover thing. And no judgment, but that's like, she wasn't, she didn't have much interest beyond that. But like, I know like my grandparents, because they were all farmers, especially on my dad's side, in the winter, I know my grandfather and great grandfather in the winters, they would just plow through like Louis L'Amour, Zane Grey.
Oh man.
I think Louis L'Amour would be a little later, but like Zane Grey, like Westerns and like, the sort of pop stuff of the time, they would just plow through that stuff in the winter because they'd work their ass off, 9 months out of the year, but Michigan winter, there's nothing to do. So
and those books are fun and cool. And like, you've seen landscape, like they've seen similar landscapes, similar like maybe certain personal interactions that are happening in those books. And Louis L'Amour is awesome, by the way. I love his books. And he actually does have a book called The Haunted Mesa, which is supposed to be like a weird like Sasquatch book, like that. I
need to check that out.
Yeah, I know.
I've never got into the Louis. I don't know why. I've never really gotten to like Louis L'Amour
because
there's
too many books. I mean, it's just when somebody has that many books, they can't be good, which is incorrect, by the way. But that's just that is like oh, you're a guy that could fill up like 6 bookshelves with your books. There's obviously nothing in them. He's writing to entertain you. Like that's what's cool about him is he is a people's writer. I've done Hondo on Gain of Faith, which was great. I really liked it. Actually, his like shootout, the way he writes shootouts, because I was talking about with I think J. David Osborne brought this up, where it's like it's really hard to write like a fight scene, like, and reading them isn't really the fun part of the book. Like it's mostly the like lead up to the fight, it's the result of the fight, the aftermath. Like these things are like, but it's like an actual like, and he punched him in his jaw. But like Louis L'Amour was just like a guy gets shot in the throat in Hondo, and there's this like really like looking up at the sky, and he's like swallowing his own blood, but it's like not graphic, but kind of is. It's just like really, really good. He's fun. He's fun. I definitely want to read a lot more of his stuff. And if you go to any secondhand bookstore or anything, there is a straight up shelf of his books because somebody dies and the kids don't want it.
And that's all they read, this person.
He could fill up you figure if the average person who reads not to talk about books or anything, but reads for pleasure, you really only need like 2 or 3 authors that just crank books out.
Well, that's true. Yeah, for sure.
To fill up your whole reading time. Like they're not looking for variety; they're looking for the hits.
No, because they've got that. There's a semi-predictable like dopamine circuit, and this is not judging it or dismissing it at all, but that's like what people are going for. It's I don't know. I mean, I think it could be really easy for some people to sort of sneer at that kind of stuff, but it's. People binge watch show like this is just it's obvious there's an obvious like human need for this just entertainment, and I don't think it's badness. I don't think I don't know. I think you need to embrace it a little bit.
Well, the consistent I think consistency is really missing, and like I don't view what like I know, and I never push back on it for anybody else's show or anything, but I don't view this show as art. I view it as a service. I view it as like just this. You get this. I know because I'm on the other end listening to stuff sometimes. I need that for my 2-hour block at work. Like I need that more than I need art a lot of times. And so like I view it as like something of almost more important, like a first responder level. Like if you don't have it, it was a dry week at work, and you don't have the things to listen to or just keep you entertained. Like it really changes the work week. Like it can kind of single-handedly tank it, to be honest.
Sure.
So I value consistency a lot. Like I value like a big catalog, like just, okay, maybe you don't have something that week. Give me 2 hours of something, even if it's not the best. Right. Like just give me something. And we'll check in next week if it's not.
From the 5 to the 6, we be in the mix. With that red candy paint job on the wheel. I need food for the kids.
you'll see what's the other one? I guess what I'm getting at here is like, oh, I just got done listening to the Keith Richards memoirs for the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Fascinating, fantastic.
Sounds, yeah, I bet.
I mean, the guy is hilarious, a lot smarter than you think, like a lot smarter of a man. Like you just think of bumbling Jack Daniels whiskey, like falling into her, which that's true.
Yeah.
But he's like a pretty well-read, like affable, funny guy. But he talks about like, him and Mick Jagger had a little bit of a falling out a little bit, you know, in the 80s and stuff. And obviously they're still touring now, so it can't be that bad, but they have these falling outs. But he would even say, he was like, yeah, but in the 70s, I was like straight up just on like copious amounts of heroin, and we still had like an album out every year. Right. And you'll hear about these one artists where it's like, tried heroin once, killed myself after one album, and then everybody loves that one album, and that's my catalog. And it's like, oh, yeah, sure. I mean, but they're just like, yeah, we just cranked one out every year. So he's like, I always gave Mick Jagger credit. He's like, make sure we put stuff out, and like, you know, and you figure it's like, you look at the catalog and you're like, damn, that's crazy. One of the biggest bands in the world stayed together for as long as they did, and it has 20 some odd albums or something. Like, and are they all good? No, but they're there, and
they put them out.
Yeah. Like your parents got to go to the record store and buy one a year. It was like fun for them to do.
I mean, man, are they? I haven't listened. I know they've got. I'd be curious to listen to like some newer stuff, like even from like the 90s. Yeah.
Oh, the 90s Stones are great. That is,
are they?
That is
okay.
True. Yeah, I'm doing. You know, Matt Fresta and I are going to be doing a big, like massive episode on them. But and I grew up a Stones fan. My mom, it's probably my mom's all-time favorite thing. But I always was like a little resistant because I was just like, oh, it's good, but what's, you know, what I liked more bands over, and I was like, man, it's actually pretty fucking amazing when you actually take the sum of everything they've done. When you take paint like Paint It Black, or like, you know, they're like early Motown, bluesy Motown stuff that they were doing at the beginning, and you like take these songs and you're just like, then I mean, is it a great song? Not for me personally, but like you have a song that's arguably a bigger hit than all those songs, but like just these like,
that's crazy,
this, like massive stadium thing that you'll still hear at a freaking football game or something. And then, you know, they do, and again, they do have some good 90s things, but you know, you're like, this is nuts. I value consistency a lot, and I don't like bands that are just like, yeah, we would do an album like once every 10 years. Everybody's in rehab all the time. It's like, yeah, but a lot of bands, everybody's in rehab, but they still put out like stuff like Alice in Chains was another one that I love, and I was listening to their story at work, just kind of an untold story, and I was like, it's so frustrating that they didn't do anything. Like they did 3 albums, and it was just this like horrible, decrepit, like just baby diaper apartments of just gross, like disgusting things, and then death, and then you're like, yeah, man, what you guys did was fantastic, but how could you not have squeezed out like a couple more out of that?
Yeah, you couldn't keep it together. You couldn't keep it together, man. It's. Yeah, you do see a lot of that, just not being able to hold it together. And I, you know, I think there was probably a more romantic idea that I had, you know, years and years and years ago, that like that was part of it, man. It's like, you know, to be an artist is to you know, I don't like, to be an artist is to basically be a total fuck up, and like I just don't know if that's true. I think you end up seeing what you end up seeing with like, you know, Alice in Chains, which is fucking great, is like, you know, I think they happen to be a fucked up person and be an artist, and they just that unit couldn't hold together. Well, specifically Lane Staley, but like, there's an element of, there's a negative feedback cycle, because a person like Lane Staley, if there would have been some imposed discipline on him, and what I mean by this is just like things that had to happen, like most of us who have to have work a job while they do this stuff, that would keep his life just organized enough that it would have kept him alive, and he would have been able to continue making albums and music and like survive. I'm not necessarily advocating that, like, you know, it'd be better if all artists had to also, you know, work at FedEx or something. But like there is something to that about becoming successful and it becoming this sort of like doom loop, because like now you're rewarded for doing whatever the fuck you want to do. And some of that stuff that you want to do is shoot drugs into your arm.
Yeah, and it becomes all you want to do. That's the sad
Right.
part. Like you
Right.
just you don't even realize that you're like good at music anymore. Or like it's like the lack of confidence these people have when you hear them like talk about it. Like they're just like, yeah, I
Right.
like didn't care. Like
Yeah.
you know, Keith Richards talks about going to like these really elaborate schemes to like do heroin. It was the weirdest thing. Like we're just like, man, the amount of thought that was put into that. Where he said he would go to a coffee shop where he was being like heavily watched or something. He'd go to a coffee shop, they would give you a spoon, right? So boom, got my spoon there for my cup of coffee.
Right.
Then he would go across the street to a toy store where they had a kid's doctor kit that had like basically knock off enough syringes and like all of these things and like find a way to like shoot up. I was like, that is so much thought that you like I would give up. I mean, maybe you wouldn't, right? Maybe that's the lure of all of it, but I'm just like, I would be, I guess I'm not doing heroin today.
Right.
But again, it probably eats you from the anytime you hear like you've researched enough artists. I've researched enough artists.
Yeah.
Just like actually, yeah, it sounds like heroin. Not doing it is actually the worst feeling of all time.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that. But there's also like something cool about like figuring it out. Like the having like the secret that you're living in, right? Having this like, because I mean, I don't know if I miss it, but I am slightly nostalgic about my old like pre-weed legalization running around days.
Oh yeah.
In hindsight, that was kind of fun, man. Like you were sort of an outlaw, even though like the thing you were doing was pretty small scale, but like finding a place to smoke pot, finding a place to meet up with the guy to get it.
Yeah, it was an all-day event, by the way.
Yeah, man. You and your boys would go on a quest, and like there was risk involved, like, you know, and I ended up on the wrong end of that more than once, but like it was like a bit of an adventure. That stuff was kind of cool. Like I wouldn't want to do any of that now, but like at the time it was like 19, 21 in that range. That shit was a good time. It was kind of fun, man.
I remember because I was just thinking about that a lot, and I had been a pothead since I was 13 up until like 6 months ago. Like I got done. I threw in the towel. I was like, I'm done. I'm good. I just don't want to do it anymore. It doesn't like, and then it wasn't like the Frankenweed like that people say it's happening right now. I was like, no, I just felt like I would just get really tired and I just wasn't having fun anymore. So I stopped, and I think I'm good. But I mean, I had a Hall of Fame run, and it was, I mean, you know, like I think I got the math wrong on the Stones, their career or whatever. It's probably 15 years or whatever, but I had a similar, I like to call myself the Rolling Stones of smoking. I like to view myself as that, but I just remember, I do remember the first couple times of getting like high that you would never ever get again, like just the kind of like Scooby-Doo level, you know, just like so the first time we did it, I mean, man, this was the day before Super Bowl Sunday 2003. I'm 2004 probably, because I'm 13 years old at the time, about to turn 14 or whatever. That's very young to be starting. I don't think that's a good idea for a lot of people. But what happened was my friend had an older brother, and he like knew how to do it. He goes, all right, he's like, stay at my house this weekend. All right, cool, got it, all good. And he made a pipe out of foil. It was a foil pipe where he twisted up and it like went upwards, and it looked like an actual like pipe that you would see under your sink. And so we were smoking out of that, and obviously I'm like, wow, this tastes horrible. And I'm like, maybe it did, but I was like, foil's just not a good receptacle for it. And I didn't feel anything at first. I was just, and then all of a sudden, like, you just went inside and the lighting changed, and I was like, oh, I'm actually like so high, and we just ate everything in the house. I mean, we just ate everything. Like it was horrible. And unfortunately, the guy's mom is an alcoholic, and she was just up to sleep. So it was like a very odd. At the time, we were like, "Cool, she's an alcoholic. She's asleep."
Right,
You know?
right.
And
In
now we're
hindsight,
like,
it's kind of sad.
in hindsight, that's really bad. Yeah, but at the time, we were like the best. And then, what's crazy was the second time I smoked was like when I knew what to expect was even crazier. And I remember being at my friend's house and they had like a trampoline in a big backyard, and it was just like one of those like Richard Linklater ass like hangouts or something, and we're, but all of a sudden somebody put on this is gonna sound like this is gonna date me, this is almost embarrassing, but like Aesop Rock came on.
Yeah, man, I love Aesop Rock.
But it was Nightlight, not Daylight.
Oh yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know
darker like song, and that came on, and I was like, music has never been cooler in the history of the world. I was like, this is the greatest song I've ever heard, and I've grown out of a lot of that stuff, but I was just like, at the time, I was like, this is the best. There's nothing better than that. I was like, drugs are the best. Like, this is so good.
Yeah.
Where you would turn your head fast and it would cut like film cutting. I was like, this is really fun. Like, I never got that since.
Yeah, it's fun. It does like vary in. I mean, it cracks me because like the first time I ever smoked, I was in the Boy Scouts. I did the Boy Scouts all the way up to Eagle Scout.
This is a big first. This is a big first.
Yeah. So I was like 14. I was probably 14 or 15 the first time. It was a couple of years before I like got really into it. But like the first time, I was a camp counselor at a Cub Scout camp. So Cub Scouts, like they would go to day camp. So they're like suburban kids. They would come out for the day and then they'd go home and they'd come out the next day. But me and a bunch of other Boy Scouts were the counselors, and they put us all in this big bunkhouse. And I didn't know this at the time, but it was a bunch of other troops. There's only one kid from my troop that went to be a counselor. There's a bunch of other troops in from Metro Detroit. And for some reason, all the kids that came as counselors were the hoodlums, like from kids from down to like in Detroit, whatever. And I had been wanting to try marijuana for a while, but I was like 14. And so it wasn't quite, I hadn't managed to get my hands on it yet.
Pretty tough.
And so we're hanging out with these kids, and they're like, well, let's go do it. And we hike out into the woods in the middle of the night.
Remember how far you used to have to go?
Like we went forever.
Let's go to find the HP Lovecraft monsters in the middle of the mountain so we can smoke for 5 minutes.
We were out in the middle of
let's mine through the center of the earth.
So we're out in the middle of the woods, and we find a spot, and I take a hit, and I immediately just puked my brains out. And
those are the best.
I remember there were some like quote unquote adults who also worked at the camp who they stayed in a different place, but we were always like trying to stay one step ahead of them, right? And I remember being like, I just remember turning to this dude who was like, he's a white dude, but he was a gangbanger. Like, not maybe really, but he at least thought he was. And he probably was up to some shit because I know he was talking about he was a mescaline dealer and all this. He was probably 16. Yeah, he's probably 16
Hunter
or 17.
S. Thompson drugs.
Mescal in the 90s, and this was the tail end of it. There was like a big mescaline thing in Metro Detroit.
Fear and Loathing. That sounds like that's where that would be lined up with. I've never that's the first time I ever heard of mescaline. That's great.
Yeah. So anyway, I turned to him, puking my brains out. I turned to him and I would go, dude, am I being loud? And he goes, brother, you being loud as fuck.
That's awesome. I love when people play into your stupid paranoias. They're like,
you are, dude.
Insane, dude.
But I didn't end up other than throwing up, I didn't have any feeling after that. But then the next time I did was also at Boy Scouts summer camp out this place called Lost Lake, which was pretty cool. It's apparently it's like an abandoned campground now. I kind of want to sneak out there. Dude, bizarre story. This place, Lost Lake, where we had summer camp, there was a building, a concrete block building that was made to look like a log cabin. So all the concrete was formed into logs, and apparently it was owned by one of Henry Ford's enforcers back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And it was like this, and he had gone on like these paranoid delusions. He had like trap doors and booby traps and all this stuff in this building.
Wonder why.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But anyway, so the second time I did, we got into a canoe and we went to the other side of the lake and smoked there. And that time, that may be the happiest day I've ever had in my entire life. Like, I don't I don't have a good story about it, but I just know that I came back and I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. I didn't know life could be like this.
Imagine if you get high for the second time in your life and you fall through Henry Ford's trapdoor and you're like, when you ask your friend, like, did I just fall through Henry Ford's trapdoor? They're like, no, you did. Yeah, you're an idiot. Yeah. Right. You can't smoke anymore, man.
Yeah, just impaled by like a piece of rebar or something. Yeah,
just swastikas everywhere. You're like, what is happening to me right now? Yeah, Model T's and swastikas everywhere. Like, I don't know what is happening to me. Yeah, this is bad stuff we're smoking.
This is bad. Yeah, exactly.
This is not as good as the last time.
Yeah, but all the romance is out of it now, because now it's like, I still dabble here and there. It's not regular thing, but like, I do know that the process of acquiring it is dumb. It's like going to the Apple store now. It's just like go and you talk to a perfectly pleasant person. There's nothing wrong there, but it's just like, I don't know. I miss a little bit of the grit to be. I mean, I will tell you my craziest acquiring it story ever. So, city, I'm from around the city of Detroit. And this is back in the illegal days. This is probably 2002, something like that, 2003, something like that. And trying to find some and contact a dude that I know, and he contacts a dude that he knows. You know how these things work.
Yeah, sure.
And the guy that I contacted, the middle guy between them, is a dude who's into much, much harder stuff. So he's the guy, if you wanted anything, you got in touch with my buddy Ryan, right? So Ryan gets in touch with this other dude who I'd kind of heard about or whatever. And we're supposed to go meet in this parking lot. We're sitting in the parking lot and you're going to wait, and the cell phone stuff isn't as like it is now. It's like you could text maybe, but like, you don't even know if that person had texts on their phones. People didn't have cell phones sometimes. Right. Like, so you're just waiting for this dude and a cop car pulls up.
Oh, the best. Love it.
And we're just like, all right, well, what are we going to do here? And I remember talking to the guy I was with. I was like, well, we haven't actually done anything yet, right? So we're just right now we're just sitting here. So we're okay. Like we might have to talk to this cop, but we're okay. Like we don't have anything on us. We have some cash, but it's like $50. Like we haven't done anything yet. We can come up with a story. Cop gets out, lets out the guy that we're supposed to meet. That guy gets into our car. And we're like, dude, what is going on? And so anyway, what ends up happening, and this is how things work. City of Detroit police, this guy who is our plug in this situation was paying them so much percentage to drive him around all night to all of his stops to sell drugs.
Damn.
Yeah. And so I don't know how much the cops are making, but they were basically chauffeuring him around the city of Detroit for all of his meetups.
He was also a snitch too.
I'm sure. He
had to be giving him more than that. I think he was probably I'll tell on everybody else doing this.
I bet they were. He's not gonna. We're buying a couple grams from him or whatever. Who cares?
Not you. Not you. The big fish. Yeah.
Right. But that was incredibly eye-opening. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'll say, yeah.
It's total. Like, and I saw Detroit cops do a couple other things. I saw Detroit cops taking cash out of a till of a liquor store. Just apparently, I don't know if it was like basically protection money is my assumption. The cops were. Yeah. So, but a uniformed DPD police a uniformed officer. That's weird, man.
I worked at 2 cannabis dispensaries, but these were before it was like Rick and Morty decorations everywhere. These were like really dingy places.
Yeah.
And I had one job that was in San Jose, and it was just a complete like underneath an overpass, which there's just not a lot of good things happen in businesses under there, and it's just underneath an overpass, and there was a Wiener Schnitzel across the street, and you'd always see the craziest stuff happening there. And there were like legit prostitutes that would go out there, and I'm talking just like old school, like overweight cheetah print, everything, just like prostitutes. And like, what was really funny is growing up thinking from listening to rap, I thought the pimps had the money. This is not true. So, and I found this out because of this job. And like they would have, so Monday they would give out compassion grams of weed where you
really?
free. I mean, and it was horrible. I mean, I'm talking like just a pure, like something that came out of a bird's nest, like just or like just what is sticks?
I've been there.
Yeah, and hey, it got smoked. And so like we'd give it out. The pimps would come in every Monday for that, and then they would haggle. They would like haggle for the stuff they would buy with their own money, and it was like they were like not cool looking at all. Like I just remember thinking like where's like the fucking like player haters ball like Dave Chappelle guys. Right. No, they're not. Like these guys were like they had like pock marks like on their face and like track marks in their arms. And I was just like, this is not, you're not selling this lifestyle to me, sir, at all. Right. It's horrible. And then
I guess pimping ain't easy. It looks like it sucks.
Would come in. The prostitutes would come in and they would spend good money. At the time, we were selling something called Girl Scout cookies, which was huge in the Bay Area. It was this big, like, I don't fucking, everyone, there's like weed experts that know what it was, but it was like the best stuff going. And then we would charge like $50 an eighth for it. They'd pay it, no haggling, nothing. And then this all came to a head one time when the damn prostitute girl was absolutely alphaing this pimp, which I'm like, I didn't know that happened. Outside, she's bigger than him. He's a little guy, and you're bigger than him, and she's just like tearing into him. Like I've never seen it. Like mother and child almost.
That's hilarious.
And then all of a sudden he comes in. He was like, I just got some money from this bitch right now.
Oh,
I was just like, I don't think that's what happened. And he was just like, and he was trying to like, but he was trying to still talk me down. Like it was like a power move on him that he could get me to sell them something at a lower price. I'm like, I'm gonna do it out of sympathy, perhaps.
Yeah, right, dude. Sorry, bro.
What I saw was you. I don't know if that's how a lot of prostitution works, or if that was just the world's worst. Worst operation that I've ever seen. It was at Wiener Schnitzel, nonetheless.
That's hilarious. That doesn't sound like she needed any protection, man.
No,
she seemed like she was all right on her own. Yeah,
she was a beast, and like she had a nice car and everything. I was like, this is completely inversion world that I'm in right now.
Yeah, what is this guy? What is this guy even doing?
They were like supposed to be like the single mom with like towels as doors on my house, like I just thought that was like how it was. And then the pimp,
and the pimp, he walked her. He smacks him if he's not getting what he wants.
Drives off in his Escalade, It's like, no. This guy. I don't even think he had a car. I don't think he had a car or anything. He might have had like a bike or something, like a bicycle. I have no idea. But it was so funny. I remember thinking like, and then I worked at this other one that was that had all of these exotic birds in it. I don't know why. It was owned by Vietnamese guys, and they had exotic birds everywhere. And like. Unfortunately, the part about exotic birds, actually, there's a lot of unfortunate parts. I actually don't like exotic birds. They're fucking annoying. They're so loud. Like, it's just, I mean, in the wild, I'm sure they're fine. But in a place with crazy acoustics, you just hear, like that, like super loud. And you're like trying to talk to some guy who's like fiending to like get in there. Like, let me scan your. This is back when you used to have a doctor's recommendation from like the Twin Peaks doctor guy or something, and Dr. Jacoby with the weird glasses. Like it was like it would just be a. Oh, okay, I'm back. But yeah, he ends up this guy's trying to tell me something, and you're just hearing squawking, just like wow, 10 different birds just yelling. And it's like, well, I don't know, where am I working? I could not tell you where I work right now. Do I work like do I work for
zoo?
Steve Irwin right now or something?
I don't work for a shitty zoo.
Yeah, but the worst part about it was the birds would shit everywhere. Obviously, they were not potty trained, and then cockroaches love bird shit. So it's just all of a sudden I'll be clicking. Yeah, you'd never think it, but they love them some bird shit. So anywhere where you see a lot of like birds just shitting all over the sidewalk, there's for sure gonna be cockroaches by those houses. Man. So and I'm famously, I like spiders, I like bugs, don't like cockroaches. I don't think anybody does.
They are
so fast. It's so scary how fast they are. And I'm like clicking, trying to like, I don't know, I'm on like Windows Vista trying to like get a stoner weed. And I'm just like, I'm just like trying to scan like the opera. I'm like, I got the job because I knew how to use the scanner. And, and so I'm doing this. And then I, all of a sudden just 3 cockroaches just run across my hand and stuff. And I was like, I quit. And I quit, right? And the guy, these were scary Vietnamese guys that ran this place. And I quit. And the guy says, we had some big plans for you, man. I was like,
oh boy,
what? Like, we had to, well, he goes, they're done now. They're gone. and we don't have big plans anymore. He was like, we're going to open up our own, thing. And he goes, and all of a sudden this guy like followed me home. And I'm like, I'm not going to tattle on you guys. I don't want to work here anymore. What am I going to give you guys a health violation? I hate this stuff sucks. They just fish. They had like big fish tanks and like exotic birds everywhere. I was like, what? And people love the birds. People were like, that's so cool. I was like, I hate them.
No, I'm not into the birds are cool when they're out doing bird stuff. Like I don't need a bird around. I'm fine.
I kind of felt bad for them. I'm like, man, this is a really bad arc for these birds. Like it's like, I'm in a damn. It reminds me of the semen meme with like the semen going to fertilize, where it's like, hey, we're going to be these great birds. Look at this jungle we live in. They're like, we're in a Vietnamese-owned cannabis club, actually.
Right.
Yeah. This is life now. They didn't even eat the cockroaches. I thought birds like got down like that. I thought they would eat it. No,
I don't know if anything eats. I don't know if anything eats cockroaches, man. They're so gross. I remember. We don't really have cockroaches up where I'm at. I don't know if it's because like the winters we have or what, but like I never saw a cockroach growing up. I saw plenty of other bugs, but I never saw them growing up. And then I remember when I moved to Austin, literally the day I walked into my apartment in Austin, empty, no furniture in there. My moving truck's outside. I walk into my apartment and like 1.5 inch long cockroach is going across the wall. And I was like, oh my, what is that?
I bet that's the only one in my house.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. I'm sure, because I literally picked the apartment because I said I sold my car before I moved there. And I said, all right, how far from where I need to be on a daily basis am I willing to ride a bike? And then I just took that diameter and I found the cheapest possible apartment in that diameter. And I paid, that was cockroaches became a part of my life after that.
They are horrible because they have these like in California we have these outdoor ones that just hang out outdoors and they're not that bad. You'll see them like when the sprinklers come on and like you'll see them kind of on the thing. But then when you see those big, thick indoor ones, I'm like, man, this is because like I had a pet spider as a kid. I loved bugs, still do actually. I follow like. The only thing I do on Reddit is look at spiders.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I straight up look at spiders on there. Like, because there's
the subreddit? Is it the spiders subreddit?
It's called "What Spider Is This?"
What spider?
So somebody will just take a picture and they'll go, "Atlanta, what spider is this?" And there will be a guy that'll go, "Oh, well, that's an African red-kneed spider." Very not indigenous, so I don't know how it got there. Like there's always just these guys doing stuff.
Yeah, I think we all got to admit that Reddit does have its. I find Reddit annoying, but it does have its uses for sure. And I think I don't know. I have like a handful of subreddits that I visit somewhat regularly. I'm gonna have to add what spider is this to my repertoire.
Great. It's fucking great. Yeah. Like you'll see guys like you'll see some nuts. I'm like, that's America. Like what? Like, I was like, there's like one that was like on this guy's windshield. I thought it was gonna like eat the car. I was like, this is
my god.
It was weird. I remember growing up like because my mom bought me a tarantula because it was the cheapest thing. She was like, she said, no snakes. We're not doing snakes. I'm not big into snakes. So I had, I was like, I really want a spider because I used to like, I was an only child, dude. You got to like make your own entertainment. You just got to catch spiders and just like, she was like, yeah, she's like, a spider's fine, which I don't know how many moms in retrospect were pro spider. I guess my mom was one of one.
But they're like $5 probably to buy one.
If that at the time. I don't know what it was, but I think I asked my mom and she's like, we were so poor back then. My mom's like, I would still remember it if it was a lot. She's like,
Right.
it was an amount that she's like, every dollar had to be accounted for back then. Like, and she's like, so now me not remembering how much the spider cost means it was like $3. And we got it from this aquarium, and the crickets were like 2 cents a piece. Like you just feed it crickets, and it would eat like once a month. And it was the easiest maintenance of all time. But the problem was I really thought that I was going to be the guy that lets the spider crawl on his hands and like have fun. They don't particularly like that. So what they do as a defense mechanism, at least this one that I have, is they just kick these like sharp hairs into your hands, and your hands itch for an hour.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's actually horrible. And guess what? I fucked up at class with doing that. That's show and tell. I was like, I'm gonna dominate show and tell. I'm gonna scare people. I'm gonna scare people. I'm like 5 years old, 6 years old.
The hose scaring show and tell.
I was like, the real ones are gonna know what I did. Like first off, hate me, love me, you watched. You know, that's like what it's gonna be. And I have the spider on my hands, and everyone's like, whoa, there's like girls like leaving the room. Like, fuck girls. I hate girls. Get out. And like, sucks, useless. I'm 5 years old. Nothing's changed. But there's spiders crawling on my hand, and then halfway through, total loser moment. I put the spider in, and I'm like, I have to go wash my hands.
Oh no!
My hands are just covered in red marks everywhere. I was just like, So then the spider just became a fun kind of like decoration in my house.
Right, sort of in the room.
16 years. It died when I was 8, or no, so it would have been 13 years. It died when I was like 18.
It lived that long?
Yeah, spiders live a long time. Tarantulas live a long time. Crazy. And I think it was like 10 when I bought it. Like, it was old.
Right.
Yeah.
I
thought it was going to be dead in like a month. She was like, this is going to suck. Hopefully it doesn't get too attached. She's like, damn, I graduated high school and he died.
That's crazy. I would have thought like 2 or 3 years. I knew this girl. This wasn't even that long ago. She was in her 30s, and she had a little tortoise, some kind of like mini tortoise or something. Maybe it was even a turtle. I don't even know the difference, but we were talking to her about it, and she's like, yeah, my mom bought me this when I was 8. This thing's gonna live until I'm like 75. And it just cracked me up
like a movie.
Yeah, because you imagine, like, she bought it, her mom did probably the same thing, had no idea how long this thing was gonna live. Here she is, like, this woman's moved across the country, and she's still got this turtle, and it was not happy either. It didn't seem like it even really wanted to be around anymore.
No, I don't think my spider much cared for me either. But I was like, you know what? Too bad, dude. This is life for you now. I mean, you're not going to get stepped on ever.
Right. Well, that's good. I guess.
Guarantee you will never get stepped on. And what spider really gets that promise in life? You have to think about it like that.
That's
like a shoe will never come down and just crush your exoskeleton on accident. It's crazy. I love it. We watch shows. Like, I watch the shows. Like, my wife is like, my wife's grossed out by it, but my wife likes being grossed out. Like, she seeks things out that are really gross.
Right.
AKA me. But like, she's like,
I got just the guy for you.
Yeah. Why don't you? It's like, the sad part is I met her a year after my spider died. I wish I could have introduced, be like, hey, we're really hitting it off. You want to come back to my room?
Check out my spider. What was the spider's name? The spider had
Harry. It wasn't very. Yeah.
Well, you were 5 when you were.
But the thing is, I actually found out it was a girl after a while. Like
oh, really?
Or not found out. I think my mom told me. She was like, I'm pretty sure the guy said it was a girl. I was like, well, Harriet then. Like, Harry short for Harriet. Yeah. Hair, like something like that.
We've got my stepdaughter's got a ball python. It's probably 1.5 feet long, and I didn't think it doesn't really bother me. Like, I know it's in the house and I'm not freaked out, but I didn't really realize till she like brought it out one time. I was like, I have no desire to touch that thing or hold on to it. No, it's just not.
They have
it's
facial
fine.
expressions. That's the problem. I can see I can see their little brain moving around. Like, and maybe it's just their face, because sometimes you see snakes that have silly little faces, and you're like, oh, that one's cool. But then like sometimes you'll see, like, I've seen a big gopher snake in the wild, and it didn't scare me. In fact, it was actually really cool. But seeing somebody with like a caged python, I'm like, this thing doesn't I don't think this thing's happy, man. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what a happy snake would look like.
That's
I
true,
guess
yeah.
like I don't know what that means, but I do know that we got to feed this thing a mouse once a week, and as it's grown, the mouses are getting bigger and bigger, and now we're
Once
up
a
to like
week? Wow.
yeah, or 10 days. It might be 10 days, but like
Still, yeah.
so we got a whole bunch of dead mice in the freezer, and every once in a while I walk out into the kitchen and there's a mouse thawing out on the counter in a Ziploc bag, and every time it's like, ugh.
Can you imagine? I'm waiting for the next esoteric health guy to be like, okay, the snake diet.
Yeah.
You eat a certain percentage of your body weight every 10 days and only coffee in between. And you'll never get colon cancer.
Right. I imagine the macros on a mouse are probably pretty good. Yeah.
Dense, very dense.
Yeah, they don't have any fat on them.
No, because but I couldn't imagine just like every 10 days being like, well, time to eat.
Yeah. Well, and the way this thing eats is kind of creepy too, because it thinks it's alive, so it's like trying to crush it first.
Right. Yeah.
And you talk about the facial expression, you can detect a little bit of pleasure in its expression in the fact that it's crushing this thing, and it's like
a dog with a chew toy. The dog shakes the thing; it's not alive,
right?
But it shakes it around as though it caught a freaking something in the backyard and started slinging it around. It's the same process.
It's fun, yeah.
And the snake is like, I wonder, do you think the snake's let down a little bit, like where they're like, "Can you give me a live one?"
I think they would. I think the snake would prefer if it was alive. I think it would have more fun if it was alive.
I'll give you guys a show. You guys want a show?
Right. But then it's also kind of stupid because it does like this striking thing too, to like first snatch it, kind of. Sometimes, and it more than once has like bit itself. Because they're a snake, they're going all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's whoosh.
I mean, there's a whole lot. There's like philosophical things that are built off that.
I know, right? So Ouroboros.
Ouroboros himself. Damn, dude. Yeah, that's where the Redditor will come in and be like, "Well, Snake, you open up the top of his little thing, slide the little thing open, and just go, well, what you did, you don't even realize what you just did, but most people I know have this same problem. Hell, I'd even say our society does,
right?
Yes.
What are some other Reddits you go on? Do you not have any other
just
Reddits
local stuff? I do some local things. I really like seeing people get worked up over another pizza place. They do that a lot. It's like, what do you want built here? Anything that you get mad about being built is a data center that is waiting to happen. It's eventually going to be a data center. So you might as well build the stupid pizza place that's like the size of a shoebox. You might as well.
It's all just going to be data centers.
I love that. Sure. I send that because I'm just a massive Nextdoor guy. Nextdoor is the best. I saw somebody on Nextdoor say that it was actually really sad, but I couldn't help but laugh because it was about how their child hates them. But the note said my mom is gay on it.
Wait, what's
like? She was like, my daughter hates me. She won't talk to me. Like, and you don't get any of the backstory on this or anything.
Right?
Like, he's just some drifter that came into town. Like, and she's like, my daughter hates me. And it's this really poorly handwritten thing that says my mom is gay on it. And I was just like, don't post that. Like, why would you post that? Like, I mean, it's next door. So what's weird about that is getting so personal with like somebody who's like, I'll be right over.
Right.
Hey, I'm a stranger.
Yeah.
I'll be right over.
Some support? Do you need some support in this trying time?
Turns out I live in I live in Vista Village,
right,
which is 0.7 away from Coyote Park where you live.
I've also got a credenza I'm trying to get rid of. Maybe I'll bring that over.
Yeah. Exactly. and just you have all of these Nextdoor kills me. It's I spend so much time on it. I talk about it all the time. I've said it on the show, but the best one was the lady selling her sourdough bread with this highly produced video, and one guy just said, "I don't trust you." It gets me every time. I have it saved, and I just look at it and laugh every once in a while. I just love that reply. They're so fun. One guy was chimping out on people backing into parking spots, and I totally agreed with him. I've never once commented on Nextdoor, and I do feel kind of lame for not like. I feel like he needed some support on this one because he says like, why should I have to wait for you to back into a parking spot? Like, why? And he's like, and it's worse because no. And I completely agree with this. He says only 20% of people are actually good at getting it on the first try. I'm like, that's the problem there. It's not that. It's that. And there are people going like, you don't know what somebody has going on. You don't know anything. I'm like, okay, it's not that serious. Like you're the one making this big thing. It's like I know exactly what that person's is going on.
Now, are we talking? No, we're not talking parallel parking. We're talking like in a parking lot,
like in a busy grocery store parking lot.
I hate that.
It makes me mad. I agree with it. I agree with him 100%. And I think it's because I live in a less like, because like size like Portland next door is like awful. Like it's
I bet
the worst thing of all time. Like out here, it's just like Nevada. You have like, you definitely have some of the current thing people, but for the most part, it's like, why'd they put that fire hydrant there? It's a lot of that. It makes me laugh really hard. I'd see people like argue about it. Like they'll be arguing super hard about like the fire hydrant, and it's great. And I love to picture these people. I love to walk by and be like, I wonder if that guy lives there. Like that'd be so cool.
Right. Because it is small. It's so. I'm still logged into a Nextdoor from when I lived in Rochester, New York, in this neighborhood, and it's funny because since I lived there, the neighborhood has just like steadily declined. And so when it first started out, it was all very nice and people were offering things for free. And it was like, my son is 13 and he wants to mow lawns this summer, blah, 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 blah. And now it's like, our car's been broken into 7 times this year. When are the police going to do something about it? And it has been like month to month tracking this neighborhood, just gradually ghettoifying. It's pretty wild.
It is fun. Oh gosh, I can't believe it. Everyone told me about the nightmares of Nextdoor, and I've had nothing but positive experiences. It's my favorite thing.
It's because you're spectating. You're just watching it all unfold. I'm
the Nextdoor lurker, like I am. It's very true because I just love it. I can't. People will like argue over like one guy's like, oh gosh, what was it? One guy was like, said, hey. I can't even remember the actress's name, just some old ass actress, like just think of somebody from like the 50s or something. And then he's like, it's on Perry Mason tonight, channel 10.
I love that, dude.
It's
just like what's on TV,
and he got no interaction whatsoever. No likes, no comments. And I just wonder, and I was like, I should have thrown that guy a little courtesy like or something. But I might have opened up Pandora's box.
Well, then he might. I don't know. You can do private messages on Nextdoor, probably, right?
I think so.
I don't even know. I don't know if I've ever commented before. That'd be funny to throw a like.
Because Reddit, the Reddit stuff is crazy. Because if you post like one of the scariest things is if you post a podcast episode you did on like a certain subject on Reddit in there, man, they come for you, man.
It's not good.
It really pumps your numbers up. Like I will say, when I did Gravity's Rainbow, I put it in the Pinchin subreddit, and like most people were cool about it. But there were some people that were like really arguing like the minute. I mean, no one will be surprised, but like the minutia of like certain. I'm like, I don't even remember to even say something back to you. I don't even remember saying that.
Right.
Like to the point, like it was like such a passing like setup of a thing we were talking about, and like they freak out. And I'm like, man, this is so crazy. Like, I fear it. Reddit is a hater app, man.
I gave up on doing any kind of back when I was doing Art of Darkness. I totally gave up on trying to do any promo on Reddit. One thing is like Reddit hates self-promotion. Like generally, like you can kind of slip in here and there sometimes, but overall it absolutely hates any kind of self-promotion. I remember posting an episode in like you're talking in like a relevant subreddit. I don't remember what it was. And somebody basically like yelling at me that this is me putting a link to my own thing. And I was like, I just thought you guys might like it. I don't know what's the big deal? No, Reddit's never gone well. I think the last time anything I did ever appeared on Reddit, I think I was accused of being an anti-Semite or something like that. So
maybe I should clip my spider story from this episode and put it in What Spider Is This?
But, hey, they might like it.
They might. I bet you those are some fine gentlemen in there.
Yeah, they're
got to be gentlemen, right? I mean, are there any women in the What Spider Is This? There might be.
No, well, there might be like a woman who lives by herself in a spider infested area, and she's just constantly got spiders coming into the kitchen
for utility purposes.
Right. It's how she's surviving. Yeah.
Spider is the ultimate woman's ecosystem, right? The way spiders work is the ladies run that.
Yeah, that's true.
Male Black Widows are white. You know,
are they?
Have you ever seen one? No, because they're dead.
No. They're all dead.
Get eaten. They breed. It's reverse Handmaid's Tale. What they do, they breed, and then they're like babies get born, eat the dad, and they eat the dad.
Wow.
So like, just think about who you vote for in elections, guys.
Yeah, just men out there quietly making sacrifices. You know, just never.
That's what I'm saying.
Changes.
Like, and when people say like, I want this type of leadership in society, I'm just saying like you could observe it in motion and see if that's what you want. Is all I'm saying. Like it's I find it fascinating personally. I just don't know that I'd want to implement it on our current society. I don't know. Just not sure. Just not sure about that. So, Brad, how's the new book coming along, man?
Oh, it's coming along okay. I've taken a little bit of a pause. I've got a short story collection coming out next year from Farthest Heaven is putting it out. So shout out to Bill and people who don't know, Farthest Heaven is doing cool stuff. So I took a couple month diversion to polish up a few things that are going in that, and then back to the novel. So, but it's coming along, man. It's getting weirder and weirder and weirder. There's there's something that happens. Maybe other people out there listening to this, if they're writers, they'll be familiar with this. If I put something aside, I can like feel the novel, the main project sort of like metastasizing or something. So I'm pretty stoked to get back to it because I know it's getting weirder and weirder, sort of like in the subconscious layer. So it's coming along, man. It's set in the 1930s for some reason. That makes sense to me, but it's also cool to be doing like a little bit of poking around in like that time frame.
Sure.
I don't know. Trying to do like historical stuff is cool. There's a lot of cool time periods. You could make something cool that took place in any time period, really. But there's something cool about the 30s. Like World War II hasn't happened yet. So cool. Like, it's the Depression's still sort of going on, but they're kind of climbing out of it. It's an interesting time period. So it's going to be very noirish. It's going to be very, very true detective-y. So I think people are going to dig it.
So that'll be cool. So this short story collection, now this is, I mean, we don't know much about it because it's the first time I'm hearing of it, but this is, you have a lot of short stories sitting around. Are these written fresh? Are these?
Yeah, most of them. I mean, I think the oldest one is from 2012. No, earlier than that. Oh, this one's probably from like 2010-ish. And there's a bunch that I didn't pick, but there's a couple that are from the last year or two. So it's a pretty big range time wise. It's sort of I have enough of them to be in a book now. So they're all pretty different from each other. They're kind of all kinds of different concepts and conceits, and I'm pretty stoked about it. There's a little bit of polishing up to do, but should be out early 2027 next year.
I'm a big fan of the short story medium, like just the way to, I feel like that's kind of I don't think people explore that enough in terms of like, why don't people read anymore? It's like, well, write short stuff. Like, I feel like real, and I don't mean, sure, you can write 100-page novel or novella, whatever the hell you want to call it. But the short story compilation, the anthology, if you will, or something, I think that's a really good way. I mean, I've really enjoyed a lot of short story collections. I mean, one of my favorite of all time is John Steinbeck's The Long Valley, which that is so good. It's so good. I mean, there's a couple stories in there that are just like some of the best stuff I've ever read personally. But even then, like Anna Krivlopova's like Incurable Graphomania is just fantastic. It's just but you realize like it's all kind of, it's weird. They can all be read separately and stuff, but it is still that one writer that kind of like ties it in together. And even if it doesn't have plot devices that tie it in or universe that it takes place in, it's just like, well, it's still that author's voice, which is really nice. That kind of makes it a cohesive work. And I always love how that works.
Yeah. It's a cool. It is odd that it almost seems like a form that's perfectly well adapted to like the internet and this whole sort of like a collective attention deficit disorder that we have. But I have to admit too that like I don't read as much of them as I ought to, in a way. I think there's a couple things going on there. I think one thing that's happening is it's like everybody, when you read a short story, you don't get to like, there's something about how you like don't get to like check off your I read another book thing. There's like I don't get to, you know, I don't get to like add it to my list of books that I read this year or something like that. And so there's some weird quantitative element that I don't quite understand, but I'm also guilty of. But yeah, it's a great form, and there's so many. I mean, one thing I'm doing on my podcast is occasionally I'm just dropping an audio recording of a public domain short story, and people seem to really like them. Like, and you know, it's 20 minutes, or maybe I think the longest one is maybe 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And you know, even if I personally struggle listening to audiobooks, like a full audiobook, I get distracted and I start thinking about other things. But a short story is like perfect for that, because it's like, it's just long enough. I don't need to pay attention for 12 hours. I need to pay attention for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. And you can really, so I think there's a lot of cool stuff happening in the short story space. And I think there's always going to be sort of room for it in the attention economy. And it'll be interesting once this collection of short stories comes out. I came up on like, from the writers that I knew, they always had like a short story collection on the side. And so to me, it's like, I'm hoping by the end of this, my quote unquote career, I have X number of novels and I have 2-3 short story collections. So,
and I tend to think short stories have this connotation of like, that's just an idea that he couldn't flesh out, and it's a short story. And I think that scares people sometimes from actually picking it up. And that's just not true. I mean, maybe that might be the process behind it, is like, this isn't a novel. Like, what do I do with this? But hey, it could be an entertaining, 20, 30 pages.
I mean, it is a smaller concept usually, but like the cool thing, if you go and you read another writer's shorts, like there's a few writers out there who don't have it. Like Cormac McCarthy has basically no short stories, right? But I think if you've read somebody's novels and you've liked them, go check out their short stories, because I know this is true for me, and I know it's true for a lot of other writers. A short story allows you to be like, I'm just going to play around with like trying it this way. For an instance, like I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to like, I know for me now, sometimes it's quite subtle, but every time I write a short story, it's like, I'm going to pick one of these writing rules that I've heard from everybody, and I'm going to break that flagrantly in this story.
Oh, I see.
It's like, like, I'm not going to do that over the course of 300 pages, maybe, but like, let's see what happens if you don't do this one thing that you're supposed to do.
It's like a comedian trying out maybe more experimental material.
A little bit. Yeah.
Maybe with the idea of going, hey, that was better than I thought, or something like that. I could see that.
Right. Yeah. And then, so there's that. And then there is a little bit of like, well, it's an idea that it works better in this like short format, right? Like, I don't want to hinge a whole several 100-page story on it. I want it to be this like moment that I'm capturing.
Yeah.
So there's that element too. Yeah, it's a cool form. It is different than writing a novel for sure. I really do enjoy it. It's kind of how I cut my teeth, was writing short stories, tons and tons and tons of them.
Yeah.
So
oh man,
a handful of them have survived and are going to be in this. And there's a few of them, I've posted them elsewhere. They've been published in journals and stuff, some of them, but there's like 4, maybe 5 that'll be first time ever seen.
Right. I'm excited for the next round of books from the people we collaborate with and stuff. I'm excited about that. I've gotten a is it called a galley? Is that when somebody gives you like a advance copy? I got one of a certain lady's book that is really, really good. I don't know if she's announced that it's out yet or going to be out yet or not, so I don't want to spoil it there. But former guest of the show, very, very good.
Cool.
But there's just been some. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I really like when I really like having books to recommend people like that are that I've read everything. Well, even if I haven't read this, so I really like that. So Method of Madness podcast going stronger than ever.
Yeah, it's going pretty good, man. Going to be talking about The Tunnel soon, early next week. I don't know if you're familiar. Tunnel by William Gass.
William Gass. No, I don't. I haven't read it, but I know it.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. I don't even know if I'd necessarily recommend it. It's got moments in it that are awesome. I don't know if it all adds up. You know what I mean? Like I think for me, a great novel is like more than the sum of its parts. And for me, I think this book has got all these awesome parts. I'm not convinced that they all add up to something.
I see. I've read many books like that. It's just, it's unfortunately this like, there's a skeleton key missing. Like, like it's this like, okay, I don't know what it is. I can't tell you how to do it. I wouldn't have any notes for you how to do it.
Right.
I just know it's not there.
Right. But in this case, it's weird because there are pages that are genius, like masterful pages or like little sections that are absolutely brilliant, and I'd put them up against any passage to somehow. And maybe my guest, this guy Charles Dashings from the Moral Minority podcast, maybe he loves it. I know he's huge on this book, so maybe he'll illuminate me a little bit. But for me, somehow it doesn't add up. There are cool moments in it, and the conceit, the general premise is pretty cool, but there's something for me that's just not quite doing it. But but sometimes it's good to talk about that stuff anyway, right? Like, I don't know. I found it really useful to figure out how to articulate why you don't like something. So,
that's actually it's kind of the catch-22 because I actually want to read it for pleasure, but I'll read something that's not that good. And those are some of the most fun conversations I have, but I'm also like, damn, I didn't really enjoy reading that book. And especially something that I thought I would really like. There's stuff that I'm like, okay, I'm probably not going to like this. Yeah. Okay. It's not that good. Okay. Then we'll talk about it. That's fine.
Yeah.
But when it's like, oh man, this was supposed to be the one, like this is for me. And then I didn't like it. And then that's when it's tough because it just becomes this like clock in at the reading factory, which hey, I mean, I've had worse jobs than that, trust me.
Sure. But
it's that part is tough.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I read The Tunnel, and then the next book I'm reading is Tree of Smoke for the podcast is Tree of Smoke, Dennis Johnson, which is to me is one of the best books that came out in my lifetime. And they're roughly the same amount, they're roughly the same length. I slogged through The Tunnel over like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I started reading Tree of Smoke 4 days ago, and I'm like halfway done.
Yeah. It's just like that, man. It's just like that. Something hits you like crazy, right? So on Gain of Fiction, we just dropped the Upton Sinclair episode, who is an author that I actually know a decent amount about, just because he's he has some deep California ties. Ran for governor of California, and he's just kind of just an annoying communist, but the guy can write. So I mean, it is what it is. And but that is a great episode on there. And we're just on a whim, and I know you guys covered back in the Art of Darkness days, Anna Kavan. I don't know how you say it.
Anna Kavan.
Anna Kavan. I mean, Ice. I'm reading that right now. I love it. I know, and I get it. I'm like, I can understand somebody putting this down after 2 pages and going, I'm not doing this, but I always want to do this. I always want to do the like something's not quite right here, surrealism, like just paintbrush stroke after paintbrush stroke of like terrifying things. And so that, I mean, I know she gets the Kafka comparisons. They're there for sure.
Oh yeah.
But
it's not in a copycat form.
No,
it's not like it's just like you're casting about for somebody else who is doing something similar. And it's
also
like,
she's not that funny either. Like it's not really, it's not that funny. Like Kafka's funny. And this is like, this is crazy. This has like these. This is. I mean, you could tell she's a painter, right? Like you just. That's kind of how it's written and stuff. And I like love that. And some people had said it's a really tough 180 pages. I find it to be just like fall off the bone, like good. Like
I love that book. It's so good. Also, you should check out. I mean, I haven't read everything by her, but you should check out Machines in the Head, which is a short story collection.
Okay, because I absolutely will be, reading more of her stuff because
it's a skinny. You could finish that in like one day. It's skinny, but it's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And yeah. She was something else, man. I don't know what. Ice is great. I'm totally looking forward to listening to that episode.
Yeah, so that that's coming up, and then I'm gonna read The Handmaiden still. I have to figure out what the hell's going on in that book.
Dude, the chud in me even doesn't want to admit that Margaret Atwood is super talented, but she is.
I'm an objectivist. I'm an objectivist. Like like you could have your Stephen King opinions, man. People read Stephen King. He's good. Like you might have your qualms with certain aspects of it, but like you're probably reading a pretty good author. Like at that point. So I'm excited. I'm excited to check that out.
Handmaid's Tale is good. Elias Grace is good. The Blind Assassin is great.
Wow.
Margaret Atwood is legit. She got her like post-apocalyptic environmental collapse books she wrote towards the end are sort of meh, but those three, I understand the queasiness of the like socio-political stuff around The Handmaid's Tale, but it's a good book. It's well done. It's clever. It's like,
I'm excited. I'm actually really excited to pick that up. So, well, Brad, as always, thank you for joining me. This is
thanks for having me, man.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And
absolutely,
everybody listen to Method and Madness podcast by The Earth and Dark. I can't recommend it enough. Please, guys, check that out. Seriously, like it's very, very good. And thanks, I think so. I just think there's. I know it's sold well. But it needs. I know there's an untapped markets that I think.
I'm thinking about wandering over to Book Talk and see if I can make something happen over there.
I highly recommend it, man. The weirdest part about TikTok is they start we had one for a little bit, and like you do numbers on there, man. Like it is not hard to like. I mean, I won't say go viral, but but
get like 1,000
people to like see your thing like over nothing, but. After a while, I started getting like, because you have to put your phone number in, and like the problem is with TikTok is like they're like, hey, your old coworker from like 3 jobs ago is on. I'm like, oh, what? I don't want, it's very strange. I don't know if there's like a solution to that because I don't scroll it either. Like I don't understand that. I don't speak that language of like the scrolling reel after reel thing. But the actual like promotion method of it is so good.
I think I gotta get into it.
I think you do too. It's I don't know. Most writers should do it, but the problem is most writers are way too cool to do something like that. They'd rather cry about nobody reading their stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
It's kind of the the what is it? The catch-22 of it all is they're too prideful. What I do is not like book talk stuff, man. It's like but you should tell people on Book Talk that you have a book.
I mean, trust me, there's part of my brain that says that same thing. It doesn't work on Book Talk. They're not gonna want it, blah blah blah. And it's sort of like, I don't know, what if I just cram it down everybody's throat? And some people like it, some people don't. That's fine.
All you're doing is casting a wider net. Like your ratio might still be the same, or it might even go down, right? It goes bigger, there might be more haters, right? Like, but there's still a net higher thing of people seeing it, liking it. So that's the problem. It's tough, but that is the way you do it nowadays. And people love that damn app, and people that read love that app. Like they love it as much as Goodreads, if not more. It's not something I would have ever thought of. I would have never thought the two go together, but you'll just see people constantly being like, I read The Fountainhead, like, and here's the, those videos go crazy. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. So
yeah, all right, I gotta do it. That's my weekend project, man. Is I'm gonna get on Book Talk and see what happens.
See what happens. So yes, all right. Well, guys, like I said, Gain of Fiction is is live. Volume 81 just came out today. Which is again oil. It's oil. You yell it.
It's got exclamation point.
It's got an exclamation point by Upton Sinclair. We talked about the movie, the very loose adaptation, There Will Be Blood, by Paul Thomas Anderson on there. And so on that note, everybody have a safe week, and we will catch you guys next time.